Allow me take this opportunity, yes, to welcome you back to this other session of ours. The other time we were looking at elements of construct 1 in biology. Allow me continue with the element of construct 2. So now in element of construct part 2 of biology, that's number 2 in biology paper 1. These are the topics we look at. One is coordination, and that is senior 3. We have also what we are calling nervous coordination. We have receptors, or we have what we call receptor organs and the hormones. We have locomotion, skeletons, and the muscle contraction. So those are the topics you should look at when you are looking at number 2. All those are the major topics you should revise before you enter a biology paper, especially for number 2. Now when you look at this element of construct, now our area of basics, or what we shall focus on here, we shall focus on one. The focus is much put on basics of nervous and the hormonal coordination in relation to what? In relation to locomotion. There is also what we are calling coordination there is also what we are calling focus on neurons and the pathways of impulses. You should also consider that neurons and the pathways of what? Impulses. Then you should also focus on sense organs and the function of different hormones. Then more scores and attention are also put on defects, disorders, drug abuse, and the addiction. For you to be able to maximize number 2 of any serious biology paper, you need to look at those topics I've mentioned and the areas where you put more emphasis. Now let's look at how these questions look like. You should also know, when talk about drugs, these are considered actually what we consider here majorly alcohols and these other drugs of like marijuana, opium. Now let's look at the likely tasks or the basis of assessment. What these people can set really. Here we can look at when look at the structures or processes involved and the guidelines. So when look at the bases, they say the structures or processes involved, and the guidelines, they are saying you should be able to identify all the structures involved. This may be receptor organs, they may be effectors, motor, and the sensory neurons. Then this point is also important for you to note. Detailed pathways is not necessary, so you should be brief. For example, we can consider this. They can tell you that maybe somebody touched a hot object, you get, like a saucepan, or somebody touched a charcoal when it is burning, you get. So now when you look at that, okay, let me take you through the process. Actually, when somebody touches accidentally a hot body using a finger, now the receptors in the finger receive the stimulus and change it into the nervous impulses that travel along the sensory neuron to the spinal cord and then crosses the synapse. Then from there, the impulse is then handed over to the relay neuron in the spinal cord, or what we are calling the gray matter, and it then crosses another synapse. Then from the relay neuron, the impulse is then handed over to the what? To the motor neuron. Then the motor neuron carries the impulse from the spinal cord to the effector muscle of the what? Of the hand. Then from there, this causes the muscle to contract and the hand is removed from the hot body rapidly. Then at the same time, the original message is sent to the brain, which then interprets it as pain or heat. Remember, these processes are very fast. They occur when one is unaware. So that is a brief description. If they say somebody touched a hot object, you can talk about that. But they are saying detailed pathway is not necessary. So you should find a way of minimizing or condensing your work. Then from there, they can say, they can talk about the rules if the structures involved. Now they are saying the guidelines. You should clearly know the roles of structures involved in coordination in the human body, the receptors, effectors, and the different neurons. When look at what I've described there. Then from there, you should also know descriptions and the explanations of the roles of structure or processes involved. You have been taking it through from where, an example, what I used was like somebody touched a hot object and accidentally removed the hand. So they can say describe the processes that enabled maybe that person to remove the hand from a hot object. So those processes should be able to know them clearly. They can bring about sound that maybe somebody over like had a gunshot or a tire busted, and they say now describe the processes. So you should be in a position to handle these questions. These are the simplest questions to handle. Then from there, you can also talk about the defects, disorders, diseases, or drug abuse. I said the drug abuse, these people, they major look at alcoholism, smoking, those other like tobacco smoking, marijuana, what. So there you should be able, when you are revising, also to put more emphasis on that. For example, they are saying that this part affects individuals and the society directly. So you must know the signs, symptoms, and the causes of these disorders. Then from there, you should also know the strategies to avoid, in bracket, prevention is better than what? Cure. You should know the strategies to avoid. Or which ways can I avoid such conditions? Then you should know, you should manage these disorders or solve problems. All solve problems are fertile grounds for harvesting scores. So by the way, here, this number also has 3 parts. Part A, Part B, and Part C. They can say Part A, identify the organs which are being affected. Then Part B, they say describe that process. Then Part C, they can say give strategies to avoid, or how can that person prevent it. So all of those are fertile grounds where somebody can harvest free marks without struggling. So I call upon you to subscribe. Please share. If you have anything, comment. I will come and talk about it. I sign out. I wish you the best.